Steve, how's it going? Hope you're well, like, subscribe, etc. Today, quick video on doing vintage sounds in Ableton using stock devices. So I'm doing this for a project where I'm interested in things sounding like 50s records, but also sounding really messed up and like old equipment. So I'll jump straight into it. Hope this helps you out. Here we go, blank track, very simple orchestral sample, something that I used just here for the Bioshock project I did recently. If you haven't seen that one, check out the video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run in, and this is all using presets from the Ableton devices. First thing I'm bringing in is an echo. We're going to go to vintage delay, and we're going to bring in hiss tape mode. Second thing, we're going into drive and color. We want to bring in a cabinet. We're going to bring in the smallest cabinet. Then we are going to erosion, and we want to bring in hiss. Next thing we're bringing in is the Redux, and we're bringing in dirt and grit. Now straight away I'm going to take that down because that gives a mad effect. It really messes things up, so I'm just going to take that dry wet down. And then next we're going to bring in a saturator, and we're going to bring in hot tubes. Then we're going to go to vinyl distortion, and we're going to bring in the vinyl patch. And then under dynamics, we're going to go to glue compressor, and we're just going to drag in the glue compressor as is. We're going to bang that threshold right down to around about 24, 25 dB. And the final thing we're going to bring in is under EQ and filters, go to the EQ8 vocal and telephone vocal. And what we want to do is now we want to group them into effects. So telephone vocal selected, scroll all the way back to the side, hold down shift to select all, Command G, and we've now grouped them into an audio effects rack. So I'll play you what this does without us messing around with it. That works pretty well already, you know, it's got a really nice effect. But what I want to do is we want to change a few things. We want it to sound just right. So first thing I'm going to do is in the echo, dry wet out to 100%. I'm going to click on stereo, knock that stereo field down. We'll want to take the sync off, put it down to the 0, pretty much the closest we can get, 1 millisecond. We'll take the noise amount down a little bit, and we want the feedback completely off. We're also going to pull that threshold back because otherwise we actually won't get any noise. But the threshold also controls the amount of noise which comes out. Now the cabinet does its job, but effectively what that's doing is boxing things in. So we're going to start doing a little bit of mapping for this. So I want to map that to macro 1. So we'll call that cabinet. The hiss. We want to be able to control the amount of the hiss as well. The dirt and grit is very important because this gets really, that creates a really messed up effect. So we want to map the dry wet on the dirt and grit. I'll put that onto macro 3. And we want to make sure that doesn't go too high because it gets a little bit over the top. So we'll take that, just drop it down to there. That should do the job. The hot tubes, quite happy with that where it is. Actually, that's not too bad. The vinyl, we're interested in the crackle of the vinyl as well. So you've got the crackle volume, but we haven't got any density whatsoever. So if I push that up, you can hear we can do that. So you can leave that on or off, but we want to map that because the crackle density perfect. It's already mapped what I wanted to say. And on the glue compressor, that's great. That's already working, taking things down if I turn off. It's really squashing the sound down. So finally on the telephone vocal, this is a little bit more extreme than I actually want. So I'm going to take that number 4, which is the top end. I'm going to pop the frequency up to a little bit higher. That peak of number 5 is a little bit too high. I want to take that down. Peak here on number 2, again, I just want a little bit of a bump. And on number 1, I want that to be around about, say, 3, 4, 6. So it's not quite as extreme. Now what I'll do with this, just because, you know, it's nice to have a dry wet, is I'm going to pop the chain on there. I'm going to right click, create train, create chain. I'm going to rename that to dry. show the chains, select the two of them, grab the lower of the two bars, drag it all the way out, and then we want the wet effect like that. So I'm just dragging the top part of the bar. So now we have a dry wet, and if we right click and map that to macro 5, so you can control the amount you have on it. So if you want to use it as a little bit more of a special effect, and we've got this cabinet control, just knocks things down. Of course, that is the dirt and grit one. Pop the crackle density up, so it really feels like we're dealing like with an old record. And there you have it. Simple, straightforward, easy to use, and it's all using stock effects, basic patches. Anybody can do this, and you can also tweak to your heart's content. There's a lot of different things you can do in it. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to be using this to actually create my own 50s style records and put them into this sort of this old feel and make it sound like they're coming from an old gramophone. I'm also going to bring together a lot of the different effects and things that I've used and things that I'm going to show you into an album and show you how everything sort of comes together, how the mix process goes and everything like that. So hopefully you can take this rack, go out there, have fun, make your own vintage sounds, and I'll catch you on the next one. And if I don't, I won't. See you later.